Hey friends, after years of cleaning, burning out, and watching the mess come right back, I've finally realized something. It's not that I'm lazy, I just didn't have the right habits. In today's video, I'm sharing 13 small but powerful cleaning habits that have made keeping my home tidy so much easier without spending the whole day cleaning. These aren't just tips, they're habits I've built after asking myself, there has to be a calmer way to live. If you've ever looked around your space and felt defeated, or blamed yourself for not staying on top of things, this video is your reminder you're not failing. You're just missing a few simple habits that can truly change how your home feels. Before we dive in, think about today. Was there a moment when the mess felt like too much? Drop a comment if that sounds familiar. You never know who might feel a little less alone reading it. Let's start with the habit that honestly helped me the most when I felt completely overwhelmed. It's called the 3-3-3 reset, and here's how it works. You pick 3 small zones in the space that's bothering you most. It could be your kitchen, your living room, your bedroom. Then you set a timer for 3 minutes per zone. That's it, just 3 minutes. You're not deep cleaning, you're not organizing the whole house, you're just giving each little zone your full attention for a short burst, like picking up dishes from the counter, tossing trash, folding a blanket, or putting away the random things that don't belong. For example, in my living room, I usually hit the coffee table, the couch area, and that one weird corner that collects stuff all week. I do 3 minutes per spot, and honestly, it resets the entire mood of the room. Why it works? Because your brain doesn't panic about cleaning everything. You just focus on what's in front of you, one bite at a time, and by the end, you've actually done more than you thought without the meltdown. Try this the next time you walk into a messy room and feel frozen. 3 spots, 3 minutes each. It doesn't have to be perfect, just lighter. And speaking of small resets, before we move into habit number 2, I want to give you a heads up. In the next video, I'm breaking down some of the most common organizing mistakes people make, the ones that quietly undo your hard work and leave you wondering, why is this still not working? So if you've ever bought a bunch of bins, tried to organize, and still felt stuck, you'll want to catch that one. But for now, let's move into the next habit, and it's one of my favorites. So once you've done your 3-3-3 reset, even just one round, you might feel a little calmer. But what if the room still feels like a mess? Here's what I do next, and it's become a real game changer. I start with the one thing that's bothering me the most, not the biggest task, not the shoulds, just the thing that's visually or emotionally poking at me. It could be the overflowing laundry basket in the corner, that pile of paper on the kitchen counter I've been ignoring for days, or the dishes in the sink that somehow multiply overnight. The idea is simple. You don't have to do everything. Just pick the one thing that's messing with your head the most and start there. That one thing is different for everyone. For me, it's usually cluttered counters. If I walk into the kitchen and see random mugs, empty wrappers, and kids' stuff everywhere, I just feel scattered. So I've learned on rough days, I clear that counter first. And somehow everything else feels more manageable. When you start with the thing that's visually or emotionally loud, you quiet the overwhelm faster than you think. Because here's the truth, you don't need a full plan. You just need a starting point that actually gives you relief. And when you finish that one thing, you might feel done, and that's okay. Or you might feel a little spark of motivation to keep going. Either way, you've taken action, and that matters more than a perfectly clean room. So the next time your home feels like too much, pause and ask yourself, what's the one thing in this room that's bothering me the most right now? Then do just that. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what gives your brain space to breathe. The third habit I've picked up, and I still do it all the time, is what I call cleaning in the in-between. Basically, it's about using those little moments when you're already just waiting. You know what I mean? You're waiting for the water to boil, the oven to preheat, your kids to put their shoes on the washer to finish a cycle. Instead of grabbing my phone or zoning out, I've started using those minutes to knock out one tiny task. Here's what that looks like in real life. While the coffee brews, I wipe down the counters. Waiting for dinner to cook, I do a quick sweep of the kitchen table. While the kids are brushing their teeth, I toss laundry into the dryer. It's not a full-on cleaning session, it's just a little reset while I'm already there. And here's the thing, those mini pockets of time, they add up. You'd be surprised how much lighter the house feels when you've handled a few small things throughout the day instead of letting it all pile up until the evening. So next time you catch yourself just standing around for a minute or two, try asking, is there something small I can tidy right now? No pressure, no big plans, just one little thing while you wait. Over time, these in-between habits keep the mess from building up, and they make cleaning feel way less overwhelming overall. And if you're someone who struggles to even start a task, especially when the house feels chaotic, this next habit might help a lot. I use short timers. Short, that's it. I tell myself I'm only going to clean for 5 minutes. Not an hour, not until it's done, just 5. It sounds almost too simple, but here's why it works. Your brain loves clear start and stop points. It feels safe. When you know it's just 5 minutes, you're more likely to actually begin. And the funny thing is, once the timer starts, something shifts. You stop overthinking and just move. Sometimes I stop when the timer goes off. Other times I keep going because I'm already in the flow. It works for anything: 5 minutes clearing off the dining table, 7 minutes folding clothes, even 3 minutes wiping down the bathroom sink. And if you've got kids, you can even make it a quick game. Let's see how much we can clean before the timer beeps. But this habit isn't really about speed. It's about lowering the bar just enough so your brain can say, okay, I can handle 5 minutes. So next time you're standing in the middle of the mess thinking, I don't even know where to start, try this. Set a timer, pick one task, go. Even if you don't finish it, you'll be 5 minutes further than you were before, and that's a win. So once you've tried using a timer and felt that little push of momentum, the next habit helps keep that progress going every day, even when life feels full. Set your non-negotiables. These are the small tasks you commit to doing no matter what. Even if you're tired, even if the day got away from you, even if the rest of the house is chaos. It's not about being perfect, it's about choosing 1 to 2 things that help you feel a little more in control, even on the busiest days. For me, my first non-negotiable was super simple. I don't go to bed with a dirty kitchen sink. No matter what, I take the 5 minutes to do the dishes and wipe down the sink. Not because I love doing it, but because waking up to a clean sink changes how my whole morning feels. Once that became a habit, I slowly added more. A 10-minute reset before I go to bed. Tossing in 1 load of laundry each morning. Wiping down the bathroom counter after I get ready. You don't need 5, you just need 1 to start. The idea is, if everything else falls apart today, I still did this. It gives you a small win, a sense of rhythm, and when life gets busy, and it will, those small steady actions keep the house from tipping over. So think about your space. What's one simple habit that would make tomorrow feel just a little bit better? Start there. That's your first non-negotiable. Once I had 1 or 2 non-negotiables in place, I noticed something interesting. There were so many little messes I could take care of, not by adding more cleaning time, but just by being a little more intentional as I moved around the house. That's where this next habit comes in. I call it pick it up on the way. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Every time you walk from one room to another, just glance around and grab one thing that doesn't belong, then drop it off where it goes, or at least closer to its home. It's not a deep clean, you're not reorganizing, you're just building the habit of tidying as you move through your space. For example, on my way from the living room to the kitchen, I might take an empty cup with me. If I'm heading to the bedroom, I'll grab that sweatshirt that's been hanging on the dining chair. Walking to the front door, I'll take the mail that's still on the table and drop it in the tray by the entry. What makes this habit powerful is how low effort it is. You're already walking through your house. This just adds one small action to the movement you're doing anyway. And over time, these tiny pickups prevent clutter from collecting into overwhelming piles. It also helps your home feel more cared for without needing a big chunk of time. I think of it like this: if I'm going that way anyway, why not bring something with me? So try it today. Next time you're walking down the hallway or heading to another room, pause for a second, look around, and ask yourself, is there one thing I can carry with me right now? It's a small shift, but trust me, it adds up. Your future self will thank you. Now, if the last habit was about picking things up as you go, this one is all about not putting things down where they don't belong in the first place. Put it back after you use it. I know, it sounds so basic, but this one, it's surprisingly hard when you're rushing through the day, juggling a million things. I used to tell myself I'll put it away later. And guess what? Later didn't come. And suddenly I had 5 laters piled on the counter, the couch, and the floor. And so I started training myself. If I touch it, if I open it, use it, borrow it, I finish the job by putting it back where it belongs. A pair of scissors, a bottle of lotion, my phone charger, the kids' snack container. I use it, and instead of placing it somewhere random just for now, I take 5 extra seconds and return it. And here's the shift that helped me most. I stopped seeing this as a chore and started seeing it as closing the loop. Because open loops add up. They're little bits of visual clutter, little mental tabs still open in your brain. But when you finish the loop, use it, return in it, it clears space, physically and mentally. I won't lie, this took practice. At first, I'd forget and catch myself setting things down in random places, but now it's automatic. And honestly, it saves me so much time cleaning later because things aren't wandering around the house anymore. So next time you go to set something down, just for now, pause and ask, can I take 5 seconds and finish this loop? Chances are you can, and that tiny moment might be the reason you don't have to do a huge tidy up later. Now, even with the habit of putting things back right after you use them, life still happens. Stuff gets left out. Surfaces attract clutter. That's totally normal, especially in a home that's actually lived in. So this next habit helps me stay ahead of the mess without feeling like I'm always cleaning. I do quick 2-minute sweeps throughout the day. Not a big cleaning session, not a chore list, just tiny resets, little walkthroughs where I glance around, pick up a few things, straighten, toss, wipe, whatever I can do in 2 minutes. It's like this: after breakfast, I'll sweep the kitchen, toss wrappers, wipe the table, reset the chairs. Mid-afternoon, maybe it's the living room, I grab toys, fold a blanket, fluff a pillow. Right before bed, I might sweep the entryway, hang up jackets, gather shoes, reset the space for tomorrow. I don't set a timer most of the time, I just do what I can in about 2 minutes. It's short enough to feel easy, but long enough to make a visible difference. And here's what's great. When you do these little micro sweeps regularly, the mess doesn't pile up. The space always feels about 80% tidy, which is more than enough for most real-life days. This habit is also super flexible. You don't need to do it at exact times, just weave it into moments that already exist after meals, before you leave the house, while waiting for something to finish. Think of it as giving your home a quick reset pulse throughout the day instead of one big cleanup at the end. Try it today. Look around right now. What's one small area you could sweep in 2 minutes? Do just that and let it be enough. Now, after a few of those quick 2-minute sweeps, you might find yourself looking around the room thinking, it's better, but it's not perfect. And here's where this next habit changed my entire relationship with cleaning. I stopped aiming for perfection and started aiming for 8 out of 10. Because let's be real, life doesn't usually give us the time, energy, or silence to make everything look Pinterest-worthy. And chasing that kind of spotless perfection, it's exhausting. And it's never done. So now I ask myself one simple question. If I walked into this space right now, would I feel okay? Not amazed, not magazine level, just okay, settled, calm enough. And if the answer is yes, then I stop. Even if the pillows aren't perfect, even if there are a few toys left on the floor, because the room is tidy enough to function. And more importantly, my mind feels lighter. This habit helps me draw a line. Not everything needs fixing right now, not every crumb or smudge needs to be chased. 8:10 is peaceful. 8:10 lets you enjoy your evening instead of staying up another hour folding laundry. 8:10 leaves space for rest, joy, and imperfection. And honestly, it's the reason my home stays consistent instead of chaotic. So if you're someone who starts cleaning one thing and suddenly finds yourself deep in 10 side tasks, try this. Next time you're about to keep going, pause and scan the room with fresh eyes. Ask yourself, is this enough for now? If the answer is yes, you're done. You don't need to be perfect. You need peace. Once I started letting go of perfection and aiming for good enough, I began noticing something else. Some spaces stayed messy no matter how often I cleaned them, no matter how many 2-minute resets I did, how often I swept through or put things back. Certain spots just never felt under control. And that's when this next habit really clicked for me. Less is more. If a space constantly feels chaotic, it's usually not because you're failing, it's because there's just too much stuff for that space to hold comfortably. The drawers won't close, the counters never clear, the toys, the clothes, the bags, the shoes, they all keep ending up in piles. Not because you're messy, but because the system is overloaded. And when that's the case, organizing won't help. What helped me was asking, what here do I not want to manage anymore? I didn't declutter my whole house in one weekend. But I started with tiny categories, a handful of mugs I never reached for, kids' toys they'd outgrown, that stack of papers I hadn't touched in 6 months. Each time I let go of a few things, the space got easier to reset and stayed tidy longer. Now, I think of decluttering as a kindness. It's not about being a minimalist, it's about not having to clean the same things over and over again. So, if a certain area in your home is always driving you crazy, don't ask how to organize it better. Ask if you even need all that stuff in the first place. Because sometimes the easiest way to keep your home clean is to simply have less to clean. Now, once I realized that having less stuff made my home easier to manage, I knew I needed a way to make decluttering feel lighter, less dramatic, not an all-day project, not a big emotional overhaul, just something simple I could do on a normal day. That's where this habit came from, the fill the bag habit. Once a week, or honestly, whenever a space starts to feel a little too full, I grab a bag, a grocery bag, a tote, anything, and I walk through one area of my home with just one goal: fill the bag. That's it. What goes in the bag? 3 things. 1, trash. Things that are broken, empty, or just need to go. 2, stuff that belongs somewhere else, like random items that ended up in the wrong room. 3, things to donate, stuff we don't use anymore but someone else could. It's quick, it's easy, and it keeps clutter from building up in the background. Sometimes I do it in the kitchen, sometimes in my closet, sometimes in the kids' playroom. Wherever feels heavy that week, I just start there. And the best part, you don't need to overthink it. You don't have to organize anything. You just put it in the bag. The act of walking through your space with that mindset, what can I let go of right now, can completely shift your relationship with stuff. So if decluttering feels overwhelming, don't start with the whole house. Start with a bag, one bag at a time, one layer of stress gone. Once you've cleared out what you no longer need, you're left with the stuff that actually matters, the stuff you use, love, and want to keep. But here's the thing I learned the hard way: if something doesn't have a home, it will always end up as clutter. That jacket you always toss on the chair, those papers that float around from room to room, the scissors you can never find when you need them. It's not about you being messy, it's about the item not having a clear place to return to. So this habit sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful. Give everything in your home a home. That doesn't mean it has to be Pinterest perfect. You don't need matching baskets or color-coded bins. You just need a spot where each item belongs, and everyone in the house knows where that is. Like a tray by the door for keys and sunglasses, a labeled drawer for batteries and chargers, a bin for snacks that actually lives at eye level, not shoved behind the cereal boxes. When things have a home, cleanup is faster. Putting stuff away is easier. And you spend way less time thinking, where should I put this? This habit also helps with decision fatigue, because now your brain doesn't have to solve a storage puzzle every time you tidy up. And here's a good test. If something is always floating around your space or constantly left out, ask yourself, does this actually have a home? And if the answer is no, create one. Even if it's not pretty, even if it's temporary, because once something has a home, it's so much more likely to make its way back there. So now that you've given everything a home, it might feel like, okay, I'm done. And honestly, that's an amazing feeling, but here's what I've learned over time. What works today might not work forever, because life shifts, kids grow, routines change, seasons come and go. That's why this final habit is all about staying flexible, not by overhauling your home again, but by doing a simple check-in once a month and making tiny adjustments as needed. I call them mini tweaks. It could be moving your go-to water bottle down from a high shelf because you use it every day now. Switching out summer gear for fall shoes in the entryway. Realizing the junk drawer is overflowing again and needs 5 minutes of cleanup. These aren't big projects, and they're just little nudges to help your systems fit your life right now. For me, the easiest way to remember, I tie it to something I already do monthly, like paying bills or changing the calendar. And I pick one space to check what's not working anymore and can I fix it in under 10 minutes? This habit helps me stay ahead of frustration. It keeps things from falling apart slowly. And it reminds me that organization isn't a one-time win, it's a living system. So don't be afraid to shift things around, to try something different, to say this used to work but it doesn't anymore. Because a home that supports you will always need tiny tweaks as your life changes. And those mini moments of adjustment, they keep your space working for you, not against you. So those are the 13 habits that have truly made my home feel lighter, calmer, and way easier to manage, even on days when life feels a little out of control. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's this. You don't need to be perfect. You just need a few small habits that actually work for you in your real life. Pick one that spoke to you today, just one, and try it this week. See how it feels, see what shifts. And if you've ever tried to get organized, but it still somehow didn't work, like the bins stayed empty or your space got messier instead of better, you'll want to stick around for the next video. I'll be talking about some of the biggest organizing and storage mistakes we all fall into without even realizing, and more importantly, how to fix them in ways that actually last. Because sometimes it's not about trying harder, it's just about setting things up in a way that finally makes sense for your life. If you found even one helpful habit in this video, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share this with a friend who might need a little home reset too. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, especially if your space has been stressing you out lately. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. Be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.